Welcome, everybody. Today, I have a little rant to go through. I hope I'm going to keep it short because it truly is a rant. This is about an article that I read earlier this month from hermoney.com, which was shocking because this is something I normally turn to for general finance education. The marking around the article was winter is coming and so is tax season. Hacks to reduce your tax burden well before tax season. It was targeted at independent contractors and those who have a side hustle that want to save money on their taxes. And it lists 5 different hacks. None of them I would call a hack, and none of them I would recommend to a client or friend, which is part of the rant. Some of them were interesting, like the one on converting to solar and the tax credit that drops in 2023 and totally expires in 2024. Perfect if you own your home and if you are already considering solar, but it is not a hack you can take action on before April 2022. Again, more insight into why I'm doing this rant and what triggered me about this article, but let's talk about the 3 things that did trigger me. Trigger number 1, marketing to the pain. I've done it. I've taken classes to know how to trigger our market to the pain. I've even hired copywriters to help find the right words to poke at that pain. I find this marketing icky, gross, slimy, whatever word you want to use. It makes us feel like we are less than, that there is something missing, that we are incompetent, for the lack of better word, and this pisses me off. For this article, yes, the reader that was drawn to reading it probably do feel that they are missing a key educational piece around tax strategy, planning, or what a business expense actually is. So if that is their why, then the article needs to deliver good material. And in my opinion, the 5 items this article highlights were crap. They are not hacks, which is the trigger point. Nothing gets me more angrier than taking the time to read a fluff piece with no actionable steps, which is why I was a little shocked, because hermoney.com normally delivers great educational material. And I just feel they fell really short on this one. Trigger number 2, the article focuses on short-term versus the long-term need. The very first hack got my hackles up. Maximize your business deductions. Again, who was the article targeting? It was educating independent contractors that may considered a lot of their expenses employee deductions in past years. That's no longer an option. So the goal was to let independent 1099 contractors know that you actually do have a business. You have to think of it like a business, and you need to come up with these, gather your expenses to treat that way. Strongly agree with this. It is very common for independent contractors and startup businesses not to track their expenses very well throughout the year, which can trigger overwhelm when it comes to pulling together that information. And sometimes they need a little guidance on what is an actual business expense. Totally get that. I agree with that. So Connie, what was triggering for you? These 2 sentences were triggering for me. One was small business owners and independent contractors should always strive to make it to tax day without owing anything. Okay. Second sentence, blah, blah, blah. Reinvesting your money in your business by spending it on qualified expenses throughout the year is a wise way to save on taxes. All right. So key things, reinvesting in your business and not owing any tax. All right. I'm just going to leave that there for just a minute. Let's start with a story to help with the back education on this. And you may have already heard me talk about this. But 20 years ago, I remember actually sitting in a room with the tax pro and the client. And this was actually the advice being given. It was common tax strategy to spend as much as you can to maximize your business expenses before 12/31. And as the bookkeeper, it was my responsibility to help the client identify which expenses could be paid early, either with cash or with credit card, and then make sure it was recorded in the right period of time. While this did save the client tax that year, it consistently set that same client up for a cash shortage the next year. And most times it took them over 90 days to recover what they needed to. So our conversation quickly changed come January into what did they need to do to hustle to bring cash in? Did they need to make a shareholder's loan? Or what expenses didn't get paid? More times than not, the owner didn't get paid. And it took us up to 90 days to recover from that shortage. Again, 90 days, it's a long time to not get paid. So the conversation was the short-term tax strategy, not long-term of how sustainable the business was going to be starting the new fresh year. So let me say this one more time. For a sustainable business, you need to have cash. Keeping cash in the business is going to trigger taxes, period, end of statement. A healthy business is going to owe tax. So if you are still aiming for owing zero tax, that means your business is running at a loss. You are leaning heavily into debt, into credit cards, and possibly not even paying yourself. So if you've been in my world very long, you know that is my story. Been there, done that, have the burnout to prove it. It is not sustainable. And businesses that opt for that model or that mindset are simply setting themselves up to eventually fail and close. So here is an actual hack you can do. It is crafting a cash handling system that you intentionally save for taxes throughout the year. This then allows the business to have a better idea of what cash is available for owners' wealth strategy, like personalized strategy that helps with pension or health insurance, or you can make a growth plan for the business that puts profit back into your team members' homes, or paying for benefits, or hiring, or something else that helps grow the business. Which leads me into trigger number 3, which is personalized strategy, which I was amazed when I went back to this article and looked at it. Nowhere in this article did it recommend checking with a tax professional before taking any action on these hacks. Not only did they poke the fear around taxes, they failed to give good advice on seeking out an actual professional to help make sure that the hacks worked for the person's individual needs before they jumped in. For example, the author made an assumption that they did not identify to the reader, and the assumption was that you own your home. Tax 2, 3, and 4 only work if you own your home and you itemize your deductions. If you rent, the hacks are useless. The only hack here, seek out a tax professional. Pay for an hour or 2 of their time and guidance to get targeted, individualized needs strategy for your household and your business. That's the only thing. You don't have to use that tax professional to file and prepare your tax returns. You can simply get the guidance that you're looking for. A reminder, we did a blog post about this before. Not all tax pros do consulting, so you do need to ask around. So as I was preparing for this video, I'm obviously still very triggered by this article. So I tried to find something positive. And the only hack, which is not even a hack, it's just a good recommendation, was number 5. It's keep up with your tax filings. And the reason is that once you do get behind in your filings, the stress around being behind and the overwhelm of gathering these items quickly multiplies into 1 year becomes 2 years, and then easily, quickly can become 4 and 5 years. So make it a priority to file every year. And if the act of filing is triggering, consider hiring someone, which is an actual business expense that you can take on your taxes next year. Now, what it did trigger, the article did say, was, this time of year, the fall time, is perfect for finding a rainy, icky day, gathering all your stuff together and starting to get organized. Search for articles. The IRS has a lot of publications that are really great at what is a business expense. Take a virtual class, ask for support from a bookkeeper or a tax pro. I even have some actionable blogs on the website and some videos on my YouTube channel that answer specific questions. But if you are still triggered or don't know what to do next, feel free to schedule a complimentary 30-minute conversation with me, because I want to make sure you have what you need to move forward. Thanks for watching my rant. Until next time, see ya. Bye.